Part 2. Verdant Wind. Guardian Moon. The Alliance Leader's Ambitions. Claiming the monastery at Garreg Mach as its home base, the Alliance army joins forces with the Knights of Seiros. Together, they begin to take up arms against the Adrestian Empire.
Good work, Hilda. You didn't do much manual labor, but you managed to rope the knights into helping us restore the monastery.
Thanks, Claude. But all I did was piggyback on your scheme. I saw your eyes telling me to make some magic happen.
Thank you so much for your help with the restoration.
Oh, please, it was nothing. We're just doing our part as former students.
I'm told you even routed the bandits. That job should have fallen to us. I'm sorry for the trouble.
Hey, don't think twice about it. We're all allies in the resistance against the Empire, right?
The Church is at war with the Empire, but let's be realistic. Wouldn't it be better for the Alliance to eventually submit?
The way I see it, the Emperor wants to take over all of Fodlan and destroy the existing order of the world. I can't see her allowing the Alliance to continue to exist. We're in this just as deeply as you are. Actually, we were hoping to use this place as a base. The Empire begs to be meddled with, and we're first in line.
What? Why would you want to make your base here of all places?
Garreg Mach is situated in the center of Fodlan, both geographically and spiritually. We want to secure this location while the Empire is still overlooking it.
I see. The Empire doesn't see this place as important at the moment because it's far from the front lines.
But if we simply decide that it's ours to occupy, that does nothing to inspire the hearts and minds of the people of Fodlan. Luckily, good old Teach has finally returned to us. If the Professor Rhea entrusted with the Sword of the Creator fights at our side, well now, that's a just cause anyone could get behind. What's more, here we are, working alongside the legendary Knights of Seiros. It smacks of divine providence, doesn't it? Can you feel it?
I have heard what you have to say, Claude. And you, Professor? Where do you stand? On our own, we lack sufficient military strength. But with the help of the Alliance, the Archbishop said if anything should happen to her, that we should entrust the affairs of the Church to you. If you intend to fight alongside the Alliance, then I will follow you as well. Is that acceptable, Claude?
Of course. I can't think of anything more reassuring than having both Teach and the Knights on our side. Together, we'll stop the Emperor and her reckless ambitions.
How incredible. What a striking color. Ah, Professor, look at this stone. Such a brilliant blue. You don't normally find stones like this around here. I ought to grind it down. I wonder if it would still be the same color. So make pigment for my art. Good supplies don't come cheap. I prefer to make my own. Blue is especially expensive. How fortunate that I chanced upon this remarkable blueness. Oh, I'm sorry. There I go again, blathering on and on about painting. Oh, yes. But I know that I can get rather caught up in it and, enthusiastic. You know, Professor, no matter how impassioned I become about my art, you never hold it against me. One could argue that I'm better off preparing for our next battle. I am becoming a knight. Oh, Professor, please don't say things like that. I gave up on my artistic dreams long ago. To support my family, I will be a knight. That's that. No. I know it's the right thing to do. I'll continue with my art as a hobby. I don't think I could ever give it up. When I see something beautiful, I can't suppress the urge to paint it. I don't have a choice. And if my art can bring happiness to even one person, that's good enough for me. Professor, I have a favor to ask. I'm painting a portrait right now. When it's finished, I'd like to give the piece to you. Would you take it? Perhaps it can bring you a little happiness. That will have made the effort well worth it. Oh, excellent! Is that a promise? Because I'm really going to put my heart in it. That is, I'm going to enjoy partaking in this casual hobby of mine.
The earth nurtures the trees, and the trees bear fruit. It's the earth itself that gives us all life. O Fodlan, land of plenty, bless us with the gift of delicious food.
What are you doing?
Oh, it's just you, Lawrence.
I was disturbed by your ridiculous blather. Must you recite it quite so loudly? And can you even call that nonsense poetry when it is utterly ignorant of rhyme and meter?
Ouch. You don't hold back, do you? I didn't know you were so particular about poetry. Ha! Maybe you have a secret poetry collection of your own hidden somewhere.
That's absurd. Where did you hear that? And just what was that poem about? It seemed to me that you were praising the land. But is it not the goddess who nurtures the land? Should your praise not go to her instead?
Of course you zero in on that detail. You really are a Fodlan noble through and through.
Certainly. Aren't you?
I'm not quite the same, no. Though noble blood flows within me, it can't change who I am at heart.
Pardon? I think you had best clarify.
Listen, Lawrence, you had ambitions of becoming the Alliance's ruler, didn't you? Would you like to try that for real? If you really want it, I wouldn't mind giving up my position.
What's this all of a sudden? That is not an offer to be made in jest.
I'm not joking around. I've been thinking it for a while now. I originally thought you were like a fox drawn in by the deer of the Alliance. But I was wrong. You're no thoughtless predator. You're trying to properly train the deer around you. Isn't that right?
That is my intention. But the ambition is insufficient. To rule well, a certain temperament is required. When we first met, I mistrusted you a great deal, and on my father's advice, I observed you closely. That is why I can say this for certain. You possess the qualities necessary to govern.
A compliment from you? That's about as rare as a deer standing on its hind legs and doing a jig.
Merely a statement of fact, one that is quite relevant to the future of the Alliance.
The future of the Alliance, huh? You really are devoted to your cause.
Depending on your actions, I may yet see fit to seize your position for myself. Bear that in mind.
I welcome the idea. It means I can feel safe vanishing whenever I see fit.
Vanishing? Do not tell me you intend to die in this conflict. You cannot shape the future if you do not live to see it.
Ha! First you compliment me, and now you're worrying about me? What have you done with the real Lawrence? No, I'm not going to die. I'm tougher than I look. Besides, this war isn't just for the Alliance anymore. It's going to decide the fate of all Fodlan. It would be cruel to leave you with the burden of uniting all of Fodlan by yourself, don't you think?
Burden? Please. If there were none other suitable, I would gladly become a king. Or even an emperor.
Well, well. I guess I shouldn't take Lawrence of the famous House Gloucester so lightly. Really, though. Don't you go dying on me either, Lawrence. We're going to need men like you in the age to come.
The same to you, Claude. A world without you would be ever so dull.
Strategically speaking, if I poised an archer to lie in wait here, and then lured the enemy in over here.
Lysithea, are you up late studying again?
I am, but I don't see how it's any of your business.
Look, you don't need to work yourself so hard. You're already as skilled as they come. There aren't many people out there who can match you. Everyone knows that.
I apologize for my sharpness. I just feel pressured.
Why would you, of all people, feel pressured?
I place a lot of personal pressure on myself. I need to become as strong as possible to put my parents at ease.
When I met with Count Ordelia before, he said you were his pride and joy. But he also said his only concern was that you might be pushing yourself too hard. If you really want to make your parents happy, surely you should start by taking care of yourself.
That's true.
Then it's settled. Get some rest. Save your energy for tomorrow's battle.
You really are very mature, Claude, despite the impression you give off. And I clearly have plenty of growing to do. I probably don't have much room to come down on you for harping on me.
Oh, really? Does that mean you won't get mad if I treat you like a child from now on?
That is absolutely not what I said. Just after you finally earned a small degree of respect from me, too.
Hey, just think about it for a second. You're the only one in the world I treat like this. That means you're a pretty special person to me.
You think I'm special?
Take it however you like. Or maybe the thought is too much for a kiddo like you.
How dare you?
Yeah, don't do anything you might regret. I don't want to be turned to dust.
I'm feeling generous, so I'll let you off easy this one time.
Well, that's good of you. All joking aside, go get yourself some shut-eye, okay? After all, if you don't hurry up, the boogeyman might come out and eat you!
All right, buddy, you asked for it! Oh, do you have an itch back there? I guess you can't scratch it on your own, can you?
Hi, Marianne.
Oh, Claude, it's just you.
Sorry, I know you're in the middle of an important discussion with Dorte, but could I talk to you?
About what?
It's about this thing you think you're burdened with. I've tried to guess what it is.
Please don't. This is making me a little uncomfortable.
There's no reason to feel uncomfortable. It's not like I plan on saying it aloud. But if my guess is correct, there's something I want to tell you. Will you hear me out?
Fine, I will listen.
Once upon a time, in a faraway place.
What the? Are you telling me a story?
Just listen. Once upon a time, in a faraway place, there was a young boy. This boy came from a despised lineage. In short, his mother was a daughter of the enemy. So the young boy was treated horribly by everyone around him. He hadn't done anything wrong. Everyone hated him simply for existing. Yelling, fighting back, explaining himself. Nothing he did could change his situation. When he was finally old enough, he ran far away from home. He escaped.
It sounds to me like he had no choice. I would have done the same had it been me.
Thing is, after he ran away, he still found himself in the very same position. People in the outside world hated him for where he came from.
Well, now that's...
The boy thought he had no place to go. All he could do was destroy the boundary between the inside and the outside worlds.
Destroy the boundaries?
Right. If there was no outside and inside, just one side to share, then the people outside wouldn't have a reason to hate him anymore, right? It wouldn't be easy, but if he managed it, he could shrug off that burden. The point is, people are born with burdens to carry. That much is undeniable. But whether they bind us or we cast them aside, that's up to us. So I think you should try to cast yours aside, Marianne. Put that heavy burden down. It's time.
But I don't know if I can do it.
It's okay. I'm here for you. We're the same, and I can help you.
The same? Claude, we have nothing in common.
Hey, did you see that, Dorte? Your friend just smiled at me.
Thank you for sharing your story. I suppose I could try casting aside burden, as you say. We can try together.
Let's do that. And when we're free, we can change the whole world.
I feel like I'm drowning in responsibilities. Claude, take my mind off it all. Regale me with another of your weird childhood stories.
Okay, then. How about an old story from a foreign land that my dad told me when I was a kid? Once upon a time, there was a white camel that got separated from his herd.
I'm so happy for that white camel. I really thought he was gonna die.
Was that story really worth bawling your eyes out over?
It was wonderful. Don't you know how moving that story is?
You know, I never thought much of it until today. But seeing you bawling like that, I do appreciate it a little more now.
What's that mean?
Well, you're always fake crying, aren't you? Getting all misty-eyed to make people think you're a delicate flower?
What? You're awful. I only cry when I'm sad.
Claim what you like, but I can spot real tears from fake tears any day of the week. Fess up.
If you understand me so well, maybe it's because you're no different.
How's that?
When you smile or laugh, it's not sincere. I can tell. I've only seen you genuinely smile a handful of times. Like when you're talking to the professor.
Wow, good one, Hilda. You hit me right in the gut. I guess you're right. I'm not so different from you in that way. But how did you come to realize that? Have you been watching me that closely?
I'm afraid so. My eyes seem to wander toward you of their own accord. What? Hold on. Forget I said that. I didn't say that.
Nope, no can do. Forgetting isn't something this crafty brain of mine is capable of. Besides, my eyes have a tendency to wander in your direction too. How else do you think I found out about your fake crying?
Huh? What are you getting at?
Say, Hilda, once everything's settled down, do you want to come meet my parents? I mean, don't get the wrong idea, you just seem interested in my family. Besides, you've opened up to me quite a bit, but I still haven't let you in on my own secrets. If you meet my parents, I think you'll understand, though it might come as a bit of a surprise.
Your family? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious.
Well then, if neither of us changes our minds before the opportunity presents itself, let's agree to go visit my home together.
Although, if it's a long journey, my brother might not be too happy.
True, that might be a tough nut to crack. As tough as Fodlan's locket.
Well, we've got another battle coming up. What do you think of our chances?
Winning is always the goal. At any rate, I've done everything I can to prepare.
That's the right attitude. I'm sure they're doing all they can on their side, too.
I don't doubt it, but however strong they are, it's no more than a Fodlan concern. Who knows how far this world extends beyond the boundaries of Fodlan? Talk of strength or weakness doesn't amount to much when it's only in relation to a tiny corner of the world.
Guess you're right. Thinking about it like that, even this war seems like a storm in a teacup.
Exactly. It's nothing more than an internal quarrel amongst the people of Fodlan.
Typical laid-back Claude. I always like talking to you. Your perspective on the world is so refreshing. Things I thought were obvious turn out not to be.
The way you think, that changes the way you see things. Common sense never tells the whole story. It's similar to what we were talking about before, about how you need to doubt yourself first.
True enough, but where did you get these ideas? That perspective of looking past the walls of Fodlan, when it's all we can see in front of us.
Do you really want to know?
I do.
But I'm afraid now isn't the time. When this war is won, I'll tell you all about it. It'll be easier for me to show you than to tell you.
Show me. Are we going somewhere?
It's quite a distance. You'll start to appreciate how big the world is if you go.
Sounds eye-opening. I'll look forward to it. Can we call it a promise?
Yes, it's a promise. But first, let's win this war and leave it far behind us. Hi, Flame. Have the Four Saints caught your fancy?
Hello there, Claude. No, not particularly. I was merely looking.
I see. In any case, do you mind if I ask you a little something? It's about your family's origin.
This again? There is truly nothing of interest to discuss on that topic.
But when you try to change the subject like that, it drives me mad with curiosity. That said, taking a secret by force isn't my style. That's why I devised a different approach. Relentless nagging.
Might I suggest giving up entirely? Truth be told, my brother has asked that I not speak of my background to anyone.
I thought it might be something like that. Oh well, guess I'd better give up on trying to get you to tell me yourself. Instead, why don't I tell you about the theory I've come up with?
You've concocted a theory, have you? I suppose there is no harm in listening to it.
I did a bit of investigating into the crests that you and Seth bear. Seteth's is the major crest of Keyhole, and yours is the major crest of Sethlene.
Where did you learn of this?
Oh, I just took a peek at some records by a renowned crest scholar. I'd rather not say more than that. Anyway, my point is that I don't think I've ever heard of two siblings each bearing the major crests of a pair of saints. If the legends are true, then Saint Keyhole was Saint Sethlene's father, wasn't he? Which means if you and Seteth were the descendants of Saint Sethlene, that would explain how you two came to possess Keyhole and Sethlene's crests.
You mean to suggest that my brother and I are the children's children's children of Sethlene?
That about sums it up.
An interesting theory, to say the least. But surely you must know. Saint Sethlene was never married. There are no tales of her having ever had children.
Sure, but the possibilities are endless. It's not like legends are known for their accuracy. But based on your reaction, I guess I'm probably following a bad lead here.
Lysithea, it's no good for you to expose yourself to such strong sunlight. And a chill could steal upon you at any moment. You really ought to have worn a mantle. You have been running yourself absolutely ragged. Would you please consider taking some rest?
Enough is enough. I am fully aware. Now, stop following me.
I'm only concerned for your health.
That's great and all, but I feel fine today, and I'm perfectly capable of caring for myself. I don't have time to take a rest. I'm overloaded with work, and I have less time than everyone else. I just want to do my own thing, bring order to the Alliance, and put my parents' minds at ease.
No need to rush. How can you be so certain your lifespan is shortened anyway? I do not know who decided that, but consider me skeptical. If you are healthy now, and if you take proper care of yourself, you ought to live just as long as anyone else.
That's all well and good, but those vitamin-packed sweets you brought tasted weird.
If you want a healthy body, then you need to start with what you eat.
You have a point, but those health sweets are gross.
I sent for the finest in wholesome, healthy treats for you. I asked only for the very sweetest.
That was pretty nice of you. I'm sorry, Lawrence. Thank you for being so thoughtful. Still, I don't need bushels and bushels of them. Gaining a ton of weight won't exactly lengthen my lifespan either. I mean, I like to be able to hang out with you as much as possible, and for as long as possible.
Truly? Oh, I'm so glad. I feel the same. Even in an otherwise perfect future, I still cannot see a happy life for myself without you in it. In fact, the more time we spend together, the more essential to me you become. So let us walk side by side toward a future together.
Yikes! Keep it down, will you?
Why are you flustered? What is there to be embarrassed about? You know I will always care for you.
Okay, noted. Will you just calm down already?
You need not worry about a thing. I will look after you no matter what may come. After all, the future of Fodlan rests upon my shoulders, does it not?
I won't give up on myself either. Thanks for caring, Lawrence.
Ah, Marianne, I've been meaning to thank you. The books that you lent me have proved most fascinating. Would you permit me to offer you tea as a token of my gratitude?
I'm a little busy right now. Maybe later tonight?
Of course. I will look forward to it.
Thank you for inviting me over.
Certainly. Thank you for coming. Oh, and please, relax. This is no formal occasion.
Oh, this tea tastes so good.
Doesn't it just? Oh, this is my absolute favorite. I'm pleased you like it. This pastry may suit your palate also. It is commonly paired with this tea in my homeland.
Ah, it's sweet. It complements the astringency of the tea.
You have exquisite taste. And there is plenty more where that came from. We simply must do this again.
You want to spend more time with me?
Naturally.
Well, that's... Actually, there's something I need to say.
Yes? What is it?
I've been keeping this from you for a while. It's about my crest. It's just terrible.
Please, that's quite enough.
Oh,
You're trembling. If uttering this secret hurts you, then I have no desire to hear it.
it's just...
Your smile is a greater gift to me than any truth. Whatever you have hitherto concealed, I am certain it is essential to you, and I do wish to know it. But not until the day arrives when you can tell me with a smile on your face. I am not the sort of man to prize my own knowledge over others' happiness, you know. Besides, the mystery is part of your charm.
You're funny, Lawrence.
There, that's what I mean. Your beauty is always captivated, but that smile truly warms my heart.
This is the first time I've smiled in so long, and I have your kindness to thank for that.
As I've said, you are perfect just as you are. But I suppose I can take a little credit. Yes, your radiant smile shall illuminate all the world. With me by your side, you will not be able to help it.
I'm looking forward to that. Lawrence, look!
What is it, Hilda? Ah, a letter. From your brother?
That's right. Though part of me thinks it's some stranger imitating my brother's handwriting. He's never given me this much praise. Hilda, you've learnt the value of persistence. You're really maturing, stuff like that. Usually his letters are like, I'm worried about you, and stop being so lazy.
Since I have fought by your side, I can assure you that his praise is genuine and entirely deserved.
I've written about fighting in plenty of letters. Why is he so gushy this time around?
I would venture to guess that your depictions of battle are more passionate than before. It's no surprise that such authenticity would resonate with a veteran warrior like your brother.
If that's true, I have you to thank. You've inspired me to throw myself into battle. Does everyone think I'm a tough warrior now? I don't want to be stuck with their high expectations.
Would that be so terrible? You are gifted, you know. Not to say that your lackadaisical nature has failed to endear itself to me.
I'll choose to take that as a compliment.
Speaking of letters, did you keep your promise? Did you, mention me?
I did. I told my brother all about you. I said you were a uniquely gifted leader who could inspire people to be their best selves. And I said that you'll be a real asset to the Alliance. I also told him how I wished you could join our family. He responded that he'd be honored to call you his brother.
Truly? Oh, to have such a valiant brother would be beyond my wildest expectations.
Lawrence? You know what I mean about you joining our family, right?
I believe I do. And I confess, if I am correct, that the same thought has preoccupied me as well. But you must forgive me. Now is not the time. Before we can consider our own future, we must first end this war. We must secure a peaceful world.
And if we do attain a peaceful world, then what? Come on! Just say it.
As much as I'd like to grant that request, I cannot. This is something that will deeply affect our lives. It must be said at the proper time and place, with the most artfully chosen words, and the perfect offering. I am Lawrence Hellman Gloucester, after all.
I'm not usually one for waiting around, but maybe I'll make an exception in his case.
Hey, got a minute?
Ah, Leone, are we to sharpen swords again?
No, I came to give you this handkerchief back. Sorry, I know I held on to it for a while. You lent me this. Remember?
I recall giving it to you. It is a noble's duty to give to the common folk. In return, the commoner need only pay respect.
That's nice. You left out the part where the nobles take all the stuff the regular folks make?
Yes, the common folk give the fruits of their labor, willingly, I might add, as a token of that respect. The head of San village offers his tribute in exactly that spirit, you know.
San? That's my village. You knew?
Of course. We granted exclusive hunting rights to San and forbade outsiders from poaching. In fact, when we received complaints about just that, we hired mercenaries to deal with the issue.
So that's what brought Gerald.
What was that?
Nothing. Look, just take the handkerchief. I'm returning something I borrowed from a friend.
Very well. As your friend, I will accept it.
You know, I really wish you wouldn't think of nobles as always giving and commoners as only receiving. Friends help each other, without thinking about status. And that help goes both ways.
Quite so. And when I require the aid of a friend, I assure you I will happily recognize it. But only with friends. In the main, I must continue to refuse assistance from the common folk. For a noble to accept would be disgraceful.
Huh. I always thought he was just stuck up. Turns out, he just has this grand idea of nobility he's trying to live up to. Oh no! I didn't even give him the handkerchief!
Hey, Raphael. Reading a letter?
Well, if it isn't old Ignatz. I got a message here from my sis.
Oh, a letter from Maya. I haven't seen her in so long. I bet she's all grown up.
Nah, she's still a shrimp. It's been a while since I saw her. But she's probably only up to your shoulders.
Wow. I can't believe she's gotten that tall.
I wrote to tell her about how we're friends again. Do you remember this?
Is that the picture I drew for her?
She sent it along with the letter. I guess she held on to it since we were kids. All right, that's enough looking. She said to show it to you and send it right back.
To think she's handling my little doodle with such reverence. That warms my heart. I remember the day I gave Maya that drawing. She looked so happy. Before then, I never knew I could make people happy with art. It was a revelation. I've been drawing and painting ever since, in hopes of becoming an artist one day.
You're much better now, so it must be paying off. I bet you could be a real artist.
No, that's not possible, I'm afraid. I have to consider my parents' wishes.
Who cares what your parents want? It's not like you're a noble or nothing. Your fate is your own.
Huh. You think so?
I know so. And I'm gonna support you with whatever dream you got. Okay, let me see. What's the first step to follow your dreams? Oh, got it. You should paint me.
Paint you?
Yeah, I want my little sis to know how good I'm doing here. So I gotta send her proof. Plus, she'll be doubly impressed if it's a painting you made.
Good point. I can certainly try to capture your likeness. I'll paint you with a warm, cheerful expression on your face to bring Maya comfort.
My face? No way! You gotta get my muscles in there. Mostly my chest and arms.
Are you sure that's what she'd want to see?
Wait! Before you start painting, I gotta get me a little more training in. If my muscles aren't bulging, then what's the point?
I'm not sure about this.
Where is that darn ladder?
Need help with something, Lysithia?
I can't find the ladder anywhere, and I needed to check out the books up on that top shelf.
Want me to just grab one for you?
No, I need to be able to dig around myself.
No problem. You could sit on my shoulders instead. Up you go.
Hang on a sec! That's not... I hope nobody saw that. Anyway, thank you. That was helpful. I can't believe how many fantastic books were hidden just out of reach up there. Thanks for being so patient while I rummaged.
No problem at all. It was my pleasure.
Hey, Raphael. You're always extra nice to me. Is it because I remind you of your sister Maya?
Yeah, I can't help but think about her whenever I see you around. We lost our parents when she was still real little, so she never had adults around to do stuff for her. That's probably why she grew up to be the kind of kid who wants to do everything on her own.
That's certainly something I can relate to.
I keep telling her that it's okay to rely on her big bro a little bit. Like, when there's stuff she can't do because she's too small, she just needs to ask someone bigger to do it. I told her that she could help me when I'm having trouble with stuff too. Then we would be even.
Young or old, we can all help one another out. We each have our strengths and weaknesses. Receiving help and providing help in return. It sounds so simple, really.
It is simple! I knew you'd get it.
I do. And I hope you understand that you can come to me for help too, Raphael. I can't be the only one receiving aid. It makes me feel incompetent and like a kid. I hate that.
All right then. You could help me clean up my room.
I bet it's a disaster knowing you. I'll help you on that front, but I've got some rules on how to keep things tidy. You'll need to listen up.
If you could help with the actual tidying, that would probably be better. No need to bother with rules. I don't really do so good with remembering the complicated stuff. Oh! I got an idea. It would be even better if you could just come by and tidy up from now on. If you keep helping me, then I can help you whenever you need it. No guilt.
Whenever I need it, huh? How long does that offer hold?
From now on. Like for always. I don't know what's so difficult to understand.
For always sounds nice. I'm fine with that.
Hey, Raphael. I finally finished that necklace for you. Here you go.
Huh? Oh! Whoa! This is incredible! And so shiny. You're like an artist, Hilda. How'd you do this?
Just like I told you, I put the flowers and the shiny rocks in a bottle and then poured in some resin to preserve everything. I thought the flowers you had were looking a little pathetic, so I added a few of my own. It was hard work, making sure the flowers and the stones were spread evenly, getting rid of the air bubbles.
What's this? The part you hang around your neck? I thought you used the one I gave you.
Oh yeah, no, that's a cord I braided. I was going to use metal, but some people are allergic to metal, so I figured better safe than sorry. Anyway, you didn't give me much to work with, and look what I pulled off. I am a miracle worker.
It's gorgeous. Beautiful. I've never seen anything like it. Thank you, Hilda.
Whoa, hold up. What's with the blubbering?
It's just, I bet my sister never got anything so pretty in her whole life. She's had to deal with so much because of me. I never got her anything this nice and cute before. She's gonna love it and be so happy.
Okay. Yes, okay, that's enough. Come on, you're embarrassing me here. If you're really that happy, I'm glad I put some effort into something for once.
Don't you always put effort into things?
That's sweet of you, but no, I don't want to put in effort and then disappoint people. It's dispiriting, not to mention tiring.
But what if they're not disappointed? Then they'd feel great, and you'd feel great too.
Yeah, You have a point there. I guess I'm realizing that now. You know, thanks to you, I'm starting to see things from my brother's perspective.
What do you mean? Do you have a big bro too?
I do. I've always thought of him as an overprotective nuisance, but now I feel thankful. Looking at you, I couldn't help but think, sometimes big brothers are okay.
I didn't do anything special, though. It's natural for a big bro to look after his little sis. Oh, that reminds me. I still haven't found anything special enough to repay you for the necklace. I got an idea, though. How about I help you make a tough-looking necklace for your big bro?
No need. I have a better idea. When the wars simmer down, why don't you and your sister come visit me?
Really? That's it?
Yeah, I want to make sure it suits her. And then I can adjust the cord if I need to.
Of course we'll come visit. I told my sis all about you, and she already wants to meet you.
Well, good. I look forward to it. In the meantime, hold me close to your heart.
What?
That's what the necklace would say if it could talk. Hold me close to your heart.
Hey, writing to your sister again?
You bet. Gotta reply to these things as soon as they come in.
You had one last week, too. It's great to see you're both so good about staying in touch. It's especially important when there's a war going on.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. My sister wrote to say how much she loved the painting supplies you sent.
Good. I'm glad gathering those pigments paid off.
You even made her a brush. I really appreciate you doing all that for her.
I was fascinated with painting at that age. I was a pretty artistic kid, if you can believe it. Not a lot of time for it when you're hungry, though.
Sounds like you had a pretty tough time growing up too, huh?
I guess so. We never thought of it that way. But it's true, the children in my village don't usually get to choose their futures. Any one of us could have had the talent for artistic genius and never even noticed. I was one of the lucky ones. I only got to follow my passion thanks to my father and all the other folks. That's why, once I come into my own, the first thing I'll do is head back there and help the other kids.
Oh, wow. It's like all the kids in your village are counting on you.
No need to exaggerate it. Besides, it's not like I'm unique. You're working hard for your sister's future, aren't you?
Yeah. It's like me and you are both carrying big weights. We should try sharing the weight with each other. You know, lighten both of our loads.
Huh?
If we share our problems, then we only gotta carry half the weight, right? It works out for everybody.
It's probably a good thing you didn't try to take on your family's business. If you take half of my burden and I take half of yours, the total's still the same.
Nah, that doesn't sound right. Everything's lighter when you don't gotta carry it alone.
On second thought, you might be right. With the right attitude and the right partner to share the burden, maybe it is only half the weight.
Now you're getting it. It's a waste of energy to struggle alone when there's someone who can help you.
That's true. And I do hate waste, as you well know. So when it comes to working toward the future you're after, you know I won't fall short.
Great! And you should never fall short on sharing a big meal with me, too.
Deal. Hey!
Oh, Lysithia. Something I can do for you?
Can you help me out with my shopping?
Yes, of course. You need me to carry stuff?
Actually, can you pick up some tea for me? I'd do it, but I'm drowning in work.
You're so busy you can't go shopping. Okay. Do you have a favorite kind of tea?
I'm not too picky. I just like having it around, really. Whatever's cheapest works for me. Here's some money.
One question. Why me? You don't really need my help for this.
I just thought I could lean on you a bit. You know, rather than trying to do everything on my own.
Right, I see. Well, good. I'm glad you decided to approach me. But for this particular task, you might be better off doing it yourself.
Oh?
There are so many different kinds of tea, and I'm not very discerning. What if I get you one you don't like? When I do my own shopping, I pick a tea at random. Otherwise, I'd be paralyzed by all the choices. It's the same with food. Sometimes I stare and stare at the options and never decide.
You look like you were doing just fine when you went to get groceries the other day.
I really had to push myself to do that alone. I don't think I can do that again. Sorry.
Uh-huh. So, you've stopped trying to do things on your own, then?
Yeah. Still, though. For today, how about you have some of my tea? If that'll do.
Sounds nice, sure. Do you mind brewing mine while you're at it?
Okay. Though I can't do it as skillfully as Lawrence, I'm afraid. I'll get it ready right away. Feel free to start focusing on your work. What?
I mean, you seem plenty reliable to me.
I do. Really? How so?
You're fun, you're easy to be around, and you rarely complain when you help others.
Well, I'm just pouring you some tea. I'm not sure that qualifies as help.
It's not easy for me to rely on people, but with you, it's different.
Well, there aren't many things I can do, frankly. What I can do, I will do. So if you need anything, ask me, and I'll try to help.
You really are unreliable, as it turns out. Guess I'll just have to take your word for it.
Oof. Capsized the teapot. Tea leaves on the carpet. This'll be fun to clean up.
Hey, Hilda. Is something wrong?
Ignatz. I accidentally knocked over my teapot. I'd drunk all the tea already, thank the goddess, but the tea leaves went right into the carpet.
Oh, that's a mess. Here, let me help. I can leave stains if you're not careful.
But don't you have somewhere to be?
Oh no, don't worry. I'm on a break.
What's that in your hands? Oh, painting supplies. You were gonna go do some painting, weren't you?
Yes. The weather's quite splendid, and I found a place where some gorgeous flowers are blooming. But the flowers aren't going anywhere this second. Let's clean this up.
Okay. Thanks, Ignatz, and sorry to keep you away from your painting.
That's okay. It didn't stain, at least. We picked all the leaves out of the carpet.
Still going painting? Or is it too late in the day?
No, I think time-wise it'll be fine. If you're not doing anything, Hilda, would you care to join me? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. Forget what I said. I'm sure you're busy anyway.
You didn't let me say anything.
Well, no, but you didn't reply, so I thought you didn't want to.
I never said I didn't want to. I was just surprised. I'd love to see those pretty flowers you mentioned. I'm glad you invited me.
Oh, that's good. Wait, you're glad?
Of course I am. I like being invited to things, silly.
Right, of course. It's affirming.
Yeah, exactly. See? You get it. So there's no need to worry that an invitation is burdening someone. It feels good to be asked.
Of course. Well then, in addition to seeing the flowers with me, would you like to help with my painting?
I wouldn't want to screw up your opus. I'm not much of a painter.
No, I meant that I'd like to paint you, with the flowers all around you. Oh, that's too much, isn't it? Forget I said anything.
Silly, you didn't even let me answer. But you're right, I'm not up for that.
I'm sorry,
I'm not up for that, unless your painting of me will look really, really cute. Can you make that happen?
Huh? Yes, of course. I'll paint you cute as a button.
Good. Shouldn't be too hard. I can feel a very cute smile coming on.
Ah, Leonie. Off to train?
Already done. What about you? Off to draw?
No, I'm on my way back. I was thinking of adding a little color to my latest piece, so...
Come to think of it, I've still never seen your work. Here, let me take a peek.
It doesn't work like that. You have to let me know in advance. I need time to prepare.
Lighten up. Wow, look at all that paper. Are these all drawings? What should I look at first?
Wherever we travel, I try to capture the feeling and character of the landscape. I guess they've all kind of piled up. Each place is unique. Not just the geography, but also the clothing and architecture and so on. Everywhere has its own design sensibilities.
Yeah, you'd think there'd be only one way to do stuff like engraving, but it actually varies a lot.
Just within the Alliance, the styles are quite different between the North and South, and the Empire is even more diverse.
Oh, here's a landscape. What a bright blue sky. You really make it seem alive.
The blue of the sky changes with the season too. In the summer, it's darker, and yet in the winter, it's almost luminous. And, of course, the landscape below affects the sky's appearance by virtue of contrast. It's hard to get the color just right, so I spend a lot of time experimenting with pigments and... Oh no, I'm so sorry, I've been talking your ear off.
Listen, Ignatz, you need to become a painter.
Huh?
Don't say it's not useful. Your talent moves people. Someday, I'm sure your art will save someone's life.
Oh no, I wouldn't go nearly that far.
Remember that girl you told me about? You made her so happy, and you were only just starting out. Think about what you could do now that you've had so much practice. This is your calling.
You think so?
Yeah, it's something you can do that no one else can. I envy you. I wish I had a gift like that. So stop apologizing for your talent and just do it.
Thank you, Leonie. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a lot to think about.
Hilda? I wanted to thank you for helping me in the infirmary. I brought you these pastries.
Ooh, thanks. I'll put some tea on. Have a seat.
That sounds lovely. But I also wanted to apologize for always causing you such trouble.
It's no trouble. No trouble at all. Everything tastes better with friends, don't you think? I give you help, you give me sweets, we have a little tea party. It's a good arrangement, I'd say. I'm used to it now, so if it changed suddenly, I would feel disoriented.
I suppose if you're enjoying yourself, then it can't be that bad.
Sure. You don't seem to mind listening while I gab, so I'm enjoying myself plenty. But do let me know if I'm too boring.
No, you're not boring at all. In fact, you're, very good at talking. You're also good with your hands. You can clean and organize better than almost anyone. I envy you.
Oh, stop. I'm blushing. I'm not as great as all that. We're both a lot different on the inside than we look on the outside, don't you think?
How do you mean?
People who see you think you're so proper, but you're actually clumsy. That's why I help you, because there are some things you just can't do.
I'm sorry you always have to clean up after me.
I didn't say I hated it. In fact, you've taught me a few new techniques I can use to persuade people. Maybe I'll start imitating you a little bit. I'll do the Marianne. That sheepish, sorry, and those quavering downcast eyes. But that might not work as well for me. People would probably assume that I'd hit my head.
Oh, well...
Aw, Marianne laughing at me. So rude and yet so adorable.
I'm so sorry. I just can't help it. When I imagine you doing those things,
Yeah. It's rather un-Hilda-like, I'll admit. Okay, that's enough laughing.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, are you all right? That tea's hot, Marianne. Be careful.
Yes. Oh, ouch, hot.
Come on, what did I just say?
I know, I'm sorry. Ow, hot.
Oh boy, a real steady hand, that Marianne. It's nice to see her laugh. Sure, she was laughing at me, but how can I get mad when she looks so dang cute?
Alois, I was hoping you could tell me some more stories about Captain Gerald.
You'd like to hear about Gerald's adventures? You seem quite taken with these stories, Leonie.
Can't hurt, can it? All our work for the day is done. So remind me, how did you meet him?
It all feels like ancient history now. You see, the captain was visiting the kingdom of Fargus.
Uh-huh. Go on.
His previous squire had died from a ghastly plague. Then one day, he came upon me and appointed me his new squire.
At that age, you must have had some real talent and courage to stand out as a future knight.
Oh, no, it wasn't that. I was just an orphan boy living in the monastery. I was a timid little thing.
Really? He didn't choose you for your bravery? What made him choose you then?
My face looked like the dead boys.
What? That's it?
Well, I asked the captain, and that was the only answer he gave me.
Ha! Abrasive to the last. That's Captain Gerald for you.
Yes. In those early days, I would sometimes wonder whether he was right in the head. When I saw him on the battlefield, though, those concerns were laid to rest. Anyway, I think I hear your professor has been looking for you. You'd better scram.
Oh no, you're right. I'd better go. See you around.